today. But what I'd like to do is take a much higher overview of the proceedings, and I'd like to talk about two broad areas. One is about power and money, and the other is about something that I think about as more general values. And I'll start briefly with the general values, and to my mind, it's probably another clunky term for what I think we as a species have singularly failed to address, but I think we could very easily address. And by general values, I mean our beliefs about what our fellow humans are entitled to. Many of these things are what the UN Charter of Human Rights describes as rights, but it's quite interesting how many of them are still highly contested, and there's a key part of that contest which is, I think, core to the capitalist ideology. But the fact that people have a right to accommodation, a living wage, to not be in food poverty, I think these should be givens at this point in our society, but they're not. They're still points that are highly debated. And they're vital, because if you don't acknowledge that, then pretty much anything is up for grabs. So when we have these discussions about Brexit will disadvantage the poorest communities in this country, that doesn't really fly, because there isn't a very dominant ideology about the fact that poverty is the fault of the poor. That poverty is something that occurs because you haven't worked hard enough. It's part of a broader approach within that ideology that we will not talk about systemic problems or systemic factors. We will talk about individual failures and individual solutions. And individual failures can often be the failure to implement individual solutions. You should have worked harder. You should have studied more. And that's why you're in this position. Whereas all of these things are shaped so clearly through history, through massive systemic factors, which continue to play out. So that comes to the matter of power and money. And essentially, when one wants to look at the Brexit world, or indeed a lot of political maneuverings, we, at our level, and I think of us as people who don't have direct power, talk about it in terms of what is happening at this level, the level that we can actually engage in to explain what has happened here. Whereas in reality, all of these movements have been shaped by people with power, and people who want money, and people who have control. The Brexit vote didn't arise as a grassroots movement. The Tea Party did not arise as a grassroots movement. These are all things that have been funneled down from up. All these explanations, these ideologies, these stories of what have been sold and shaped to the general public by people in power. But one of the great things about being in power is that you can always define the terms of reference. You can say, well, here's where we are now. Let's talk about why we're here. We needn't talk about how we got here. We needn't talk about who's brought us here. We needn't talk about who profits from where we are. But, we're here now. We've done this. Let's discuss this, right? We'll talk on this level. And that is something that power has very beautifully maneuvered. And when one thinks of all the various movements and changes that have brought us to this point, everywhere you have to recognize the role of power. One classic example is the idea of balance in reporting. The idea of balance in reporting can be caricatured as, I may be a racist, I may be a climate change denier, but I have a right to have my opinion heard, and because it's my opinion, it's right. And you've got to think, that isn't something that a poor racist or a poor climate change denier came up with and fought for the right to have their voice heard. That is very much a move from power. I am in power, I don't believe in climate change, I am a racist, of course I don't think of myself as that, but I demand to have my voice heard. And I possess power and money to shape the organizations and systems that will allow me to do that. And in a similar way, we've got to recognize, as we all know, but we somehow sort of blank out, that actually a lot of our political structure, our political economy, the global geopolitical economy is shaped by power and money, right? So when we talk about this is democracy, that has to be heavily caveated, right? The people who shaped the entire campaign, the people who built everything for it, and the people who are still fighting for it, are not fighting for democracy. This is not about democracy. right? The way that this entire thing was shaped, the way in which the messaging was delivered, the fact that the referendum was illegal on so many counts is something that is surprisingly not discussed. And you've got to think, who's got the power to actually keep that out of the discussion, right? That's been shown repeatedly, and you can see clearly that as it's advanced, there's even less attempt to try and cover it up by the perpetrators of that crime. So when we talk about Brexit being an exercise in democracy, we've got to take it with the same pinch as to what exactly is democracy, right? And who exactly controls and shapes our democracy? What is this about, and who actually stands to profit from it? So when I say about defining the terms of reference, one very dangerous way of defining the terms of reference is we voted for this. This was a democratic vote. It wasn't. Right? This was a mess on several levels that serves very specific people's agendas, and they've not been shy about saying it. Crispin Odey is highly outspoken about what his motivations are. We know who Nigel Farage's and Boris Johnson's backers are. So why do we persist with this illusion that somehow this is something that we at this level have control over? I certainly agree with all of the points that Jeff has raised. I think what has been draped over this power move are several bits of ideology, several bits of narrative, several bits of nostalgia that will appeal to people, that will make them fight for it. But I again put you that actually, what exactly do you gain? And that's the thing that is most surprising. Brexit stands to actually seriously disadvantage lots and lots of people. It's not going to disadvantage the people in power and the people with money. So why exactly are we pressing forward with this? Because like in many of these discussions, those people are dispensable. They're dispensable to the overall discussion. It doesn't matter if these communities are going to be wiped out. It doesn't matter that Nissan and all these are going to move out of areas in which they basically sustain the economy, because those people don't really count in this discussion. I'm going to just finish off with a couple of things on the ground. I look after people with serious mental illness who are, at the best of times, a highly, highly disadvantaged section of society. They are going to be affected by changes in the health service. They are going to be seriously affected by changes in drug delivery, because most of my patients are on long-term treatment, right? They get a raw deal wherever they go. This is going to be an even rawer deal, right? And of course, let's not talk about pressures in terms of staffing. At the moment, I can say this because this is something I have tweeted with consent, right? I have tried to find what I can do to help a patient of mine who is being deported by the Home Office to a country that he sought asylum from 18 years ago, where he's destined to end up back in prison at the very best. He has no connections, and there is no treatment available for his mental illness. And he's being deported because of offences that he committed. The offences in the scheme of things are not major offences, but critically, they are all offences that were clearly tied to his mental illness. They all occurred because he was unwell, right? And I have written to the Home Office to state that this is what has happened. And having provided that information, they then sent me and my colleague, as his mental health service provider, the letter of his deportation and asked us to convey it to him. Right? This is the nature of the system that's actually operating in the country, but it suits people to keep us debating things at this level where we either punch one level up, punch to the side, or punch down. But don't even think about looking there where all this is coming from. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sham. That was